This is basically like just where the team was being built, you know, like-minded people. You know, whenever we, you know, read about the greats before us, or you know, the ones that were there before we came, you know, they always specified the idea of team.
100%.
And building with a community of people. And so at this point, you know, it was like the team was set. Everybody knew what they were doing. And we just had one goal. We just had one vision. And that was just to get hot and be the best in every capacity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And it's mad because we hadn't really moved to LA yet.
Yeah.
So everything that we were seeing here, we were trying to replicate in London in some capacity. Like we was trying to create or build like our team in London, because, you know, I guess at that point we weren't like 100% sure that we were moving to LA. It was just like, okay, we're going to LA, you know, a couple months there, do the work, come back, you know, do work here and then go back, do you get what I mean? So, but yeah, this is where the team was really starting to find this face.
Yeah, and I think for me, I saw the infrastructure,
Yeah.
the importance of infrastructure, the importance of, okay, if I do my thing right, you can do your thing right, and we can conquer our goals together.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande, this album changed our life.
Yeah.
This album definitely changed our life.
Started the train.
Started it.
Yeah.
Early days, like we went to LA and it was just like, we're gonna throw you into the deep end.
Yeah, this was a deep end.
This was a very, very deep pool, you know.
And she wasn't even known at that time as well.
No.
She had just come off the show Victorious on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
And so there wasn't much noise about her. I mean, there was, but it wasn't anything like, you know, that anyone was really shying about. The only comparison was, oh, she might be the next Mariah Carey, you know. And yeah, she, you know, she came to the studio, and she was, you know, H played her some records, and she was just like, yeah, I love it. And it's mad when you look at pictures like this, because when you look at her now and then you look at her then, it's just like raw, like the elevation is really, really crazy. But yeah, this is what really started it, you know. And from this we thought, oh yeah, we're here, cool, you know, Ariana Grande, raw. You know what I mean? #1 for 8 countries, this is crazy. And then, yeah, we came to London after doing this, or after it came out, should I say, and we were heavily surprised by the reception that we got.
Yeah.
I guess we had this, you know, this thought that once you had like a big record, or once you had like something going off,
the doors were open.
The doors would fly open, and we were starkly. Yeah, we were surprised. We were shocked. We were shocked. You know, we came back to London and we started, you know, to go to a few meetings.
Everybody had to go to High Street Kensington.
Yeah, that was the place.
That was the place.
Was it Fulham Broadway or High Street Kensington? It was Fulham
High Street. The Fulham was publishing, and High Street was like the records for like placements and stuff.
So yeah, we went to this particular meeting and we went to sit with an A&R, and so he's like, you know, so what are you guys doing? Like, you know, what's happening? Well, and you know when you feel like you've got something in your back pocket and you're like, yeah, ready to pull it out. It's like, yeah, so, yeah, you know, we're #1, 30 countries, Ariana Grande, and you know, and you're just like, yeah, say something. And it's just like, oh, okay.
Who's that?
Cool. Never heard of her. Huh? What do you mean you've never heard of her? Like,
it's popping off right now, bro.
#1 in 30 countries, like. Huh? Yeah, just never heard of her. And it was such a showstopper, like a stop, like wherever gassed moment that you had in your head, wherever you thought was, relax. Like, it don't mean nothing here. And that's what began our
quest.
Vengeance. Yeah. It was like, yeah, cool.
I was very, very angry.
Okay, cool. Because like I said, you think in your brain that you get that one, and then everyone's gonna be like, yeah, we need this. And it just wasn't that. And we felt like we were at the beginning of our careers again, you know, searching, looking. The only difference is we had a #1 album in our pocket.
It was a blow, you know. You start to question yourself.
Yeah.
Like you said, you have a #1 album with the newest, biggest pop star in the world, and you know you're being told, okay, what does that mean? And I think for us, like we like you said, it started the quest, and we would go around, try to work with different people. I remember one meeting, we went to a publishing meeting in Fulham Broadway, just to again push the conversation. And no word of a lie, you know, the A&R told us we would never be successful making R&B music. So you come at the meeting thinking like, wait, huh? How does this all add up with the success? That doesn't add up. And you know, you go into the studio, sometimes you don't want to enter the studio, sometimes you're like, if we do this, we're gonna be told no again. You know, and I remember one conversation that we had with Harmony, and he was just like, do not listen to anybody. Do not listen to anyone telling you how to make music. You know, we had A&Rs telling us, you need to produce like this, and you need to do this, and your Sonix needs to sound like this, which it wasn't constructive, it was kind of destructive, you know, at the time. And I think we took that frustration, we took the advice from Harmony and locked in. Locked in to refine our sound, locked in to just define who we are, so it will get to a level that you cannot say this is good. You know, that's what I think we learned, just you can just channel that emotion, and that just turned into 17 hours in the studio. We'll get to the studio 1 p.m, we'll work to 4, 5 a.m, to go back, shower, come back again. Did that for 2 to 5 years. To just find this answer, to define this sound. And I think once we had learned the industry of the UK and learned who is who, we were like, okay, let's be strategic. And that's when it leads to get into a session with Wretch.
So can you talk to us about the level of work ethic needed?
It's a do or die situation, if I'm honest. You know, it's how badly do you want it? And I think for us, like, it was 100% music. We weren't active, we weren't present for, you know, things with our families and friends. Like, that's the sacrifice that we had at the time, because we had this point to prove to ourselves that we are who we say we are. And especially when you had the success story and you've gone to America, you're in the room with Chris Brown and Justin Bieber and all these people at this time, and you're seeing them, you're like, okay, we're here. And you come back and then someone says, who are you?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? What have you done in the UK? And it was as if like you had to be successful in the UK to be successful. It was just like, bro, do you know how big the world is? You understand what I'm saying? So we just locked in, and it was like every day we breathe and sleep this thing. There was times where we didn't even know what day it was during the week. You know, it was just a routine. It was just like, okay, pick me up, come back, go studio, go again, come back. What day is it? Oh, it's Tuesday. Mad, I thought it was Friday. Crazy. You know, and I think people don't understand, to get to this level, you have to put that work in. You cannot cheat
10,000 hours.
You cannot cheat it. We've done our 10,000 hours with some change.
And with some change.
You know? And I wouldn't change it, looking back now. It was worth the investment. At the time, you're emotional, you're angry, you're frustrated. But looking back now, you need that in your development, in your character development. It makes you be on your game, it makes you invest in the music like it's going to be great. And our bar is never below that, you know.
That's facts.
What were the sacrifices?
Family,
man.
That being at the top of everything, like, you know, how do you explain that? You know, how do you, you know, tell them that you're in the studio all the time, or
it was like, you're in the studio again?
And you gotta understand, you know, we come from, you know, a culture where we attach success to money immediately. So you're in the studio, but what does that look like? Still in my house. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, what does that? I don't know what that means. So, you know, that sacrifice of, you know, not being able to see your family and, you know, see your nieces and nephew kind of start growing, and, you know, do the normal things of like going out with friends, or, you know, I remember just hearing my friends be like, oh, this, you know, whenever you did like reunions and you see the pictures and you're just never there, it's because you're at the studio. or you're doing something. That was what it was for me. It's like I never got to do reunions like that because I was in the studio, you know. Those were the sacrifices. FOMO.
Big FOMO.